What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the Little Fam. Now today, bro, we once again have another tornado, and not because I'm obsessed, it's because I'm obsessed. I ain't gonna lie. So today is Greensburg, the scariest tornado in history, and this video is by Selton Henderson. Shout out to him. If you guys want to subscribe for more like tornado documentaries, and I'm not sure if he's a storm chaser as well. I think so. I'm pretty sure I recognize that name from some video I watched. But yeah, chat, we're gonna be checking this out because this one, supposedly the tornado was actually bigger than that town that it literally made suffer. So that already caught my eye. It's been recommended by you guys as well, and yeah, we're just on the tornado vibe right now. It's just natural disasters and stuff we're watching. Shout out you guys for the support on this. I'm actually probably about to drop a tornado gameplay video on the gaming channel. If you guys want to check that out, it should drop the same day this does. So yeah, chat. Without further ado, make sure to grab your popcorn and let's see. All right, let's go.
May 4th, 2007.
May 4th.
Sirens begin to scream.
Okay, so at least it's not 2011, bro. Oh my god, because it feels like everything was happening in that goddamn year. I was ready for Greensburg to also be a part of that. But 2011, you guys were saying, and I also like did a little research, was the year that just so many fucking tornadoes happened. I think it was like 1700 plus or something like that. Like, dude, that's fucking insane. What the hell was going on that year, bro?
Across a small town in rural Kansas as Kelsey Schroth is at home taking care of her baby. With nowhere else to go, Kelsey runs to an interior closet as her ears begin to pop and a thunderous roar grows louder and louder.
Oh my gosh,
a massive
bro.
tornado, wider than the town itself, is just moments away.
Like, that's insane words to say right there. A tornado wider than the town itself, dude. Jesus Christ. I mean, that's gotta be an EF5, right? At the least. You know what I'm saying? It might be an EF7 at this point. I don't know. These tornadoes are fucking crazy. But dude, just imagine being in a town and the tornado wipes over you and it's everywhere, bro. Everywhere. I mean, all you're going to be focused on is just trying to survive in whatever space you're in close to. But still, it's just like, I could just only imagine the sound and the feeling of a tornado that massive just going over your houses, bro. Like, everybody at the same time is going through this suffering.
It's peak tornado season in the Great Plains, and forecasters at the Storm Prediction Center are monitoring the atmosphere, looking for the key ingredients needed for severe weather when something alarming catches their attention. A massive trough of low pressure is moving across the western United States, bringing with it a belt of fast-moving, cooler air aloft and pulling in massive amounts of warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico.
Not a good mixture, man.
The fast southwesterly winds at the trough begin to drag along a layer of warm, dry air emanating out of the desert southwest called the elevated mix layer, or EML, separating the warm, moist air from the cool, dry air aloft, stopping storms from firing too early in the day and creating an extremely unstable atmosphere. The combination of large amounts of both atmospheric instability and strong wind shear from the approaching trough are creating ideal conditions for the formation of rotating thunderstorms called supercells. Recognizing that all the ingredients for severe thunderstorms
I love that breakdown, by the way.
The Storm Prediction Center issues a moderate risk for severe weather, including a 15% outlook for strong tornadoes. Just before 5.
That's like considered a strong possibility, right? Like a strong thing. 15, 10, 5, 2%. Let me actually search that up. Okay, so a 15% probability on a Storm Prediction Center SPC tornado outlook is considered a very serious high-end threat. It typically corresponds to the enhanced or moderate risk day, meaning multiple tornadoes are likely strong and long track. EF2 plus tornadoes are a major possibility. Okay, so what it actually means, the 25-mile rule, it means there's a 15% chance of a tornado occurring within 25 miles of any specific point inside the shaded area. So yeah, it's pretty much guaranteed at that point. I already assumed. I just wanted to kind of like confirm why and stuff.
Outlook for strong tornadoes. Just before 5 p.m., the capping inversion generated by the elevated mix layer breaks and a lone supercell thunderstorm initiates off the dry line along the Texas-Oklahoma border. Within just an hour, this powerful storm goes tornado warned and produces a tornado just outside the small town of Arnett, Oklahoma. Remaining over rural areas, this small but powerful tornado carves a 4-mile path of destruction, destroying numerous trees and lightly damaging a couple farmsteads before dissipating just outside of town.
That's a crazy thing about tornadoes is like they don't necessarily have to be a EF5 to be completely destructive. I mean, some EF5s probably cause less destruction than the likes of a super aggressive EF3 or something. You know what I'm saying? Like it just depends on the trajectory of it and also like how violent it's deciding to be that day. And you know, the mixture of the storms, the rain and all that, it can make for, you know, different scenario tornadoes and each time there is one.
Several hours, storms would struggle to develop in the highly capped atmosphere, slowly dying out as they drifted across the open fields. It appeared the residents of the Central Plains had just dodged a bullet, avoiding a significant outbreak of intense tornadoes through populated areas. However, things were about to take a dramatic turn. Before we get into the rest of the action, I'd like to take a quick moment to thank the sponsor of this video,
Yep.
Vessi.
W ad, get your money, my boy. Get your money. Get your money. I respect it.
Off your pair of Vessis today.
You guys gonna support that if you guys want.
As the sun begins to set on May 4th, a powerful stream of fast-moving winds called the low-level jet begins to rush north, greatly increasing both directional wind shear and storm relative inflow, crucial ingredients in the formation of powerful tornadoes. If a storm could take advantage of such a volatile environment, tornadoes of both unimaginable size and power could develop. The residents of the Central Plains have no idea they are about to be at the center of a major disaster. At 6:30 p.m.
Most of the time, they just don't know. That's the sad part about all these stories we've been watching right now. Is like everybody just doesn't know shit's coming. Now, if you're gonna live in these, you know, these type of areas, I mean, we've been hearing about Oklahoma a whole bunch. There's Texas in general. All these places where storms are more prone to happen pretty casually. I mean, they literally call these times like the storm seasons, right? They literally have the seasons where there's a lot of storms. I mean, you gotta kind of expect it pretty much at any time, which is pretty sad. I mean, like I said, I'm just so glad I don't live in one of these type of areas, and if I ever did, I would move the fuck out as soon as I turn adult. Because ain't no way, dog. I mean, but like I said, it's always just easier than it is, or it's easier said than done, because people grow up here, they live their lives wherever they are, and it's just like sentimental. But still, it's like, fuck, man, just at any time these storms can rip apart, and I know that can happen anywhere, but there's obviously places where it's more prone to happen. I mean, a lot of these stories I've been hearing, Oklahoma, Texas, these rural areas, and it's kind of like, oh, Missouri, what else? There's just a lot of spots where it's more relevant, like storms are more relevant like this. They gather around these type of areas more than others.
At 6:30 p.m., a new cluster of storms explodes over northwest Oklahoma, slowly merging together and gaining strength as they organize into a single, powerful supercell thunderstorm, getting stronger and stronger with every minute that passes. The first tornado began in a field just to the northwest of Ashland, Kansas, remaining over rural areas and causing only weak damage to trees and rural structures before spawning 3 other weak tornadoes, all tracking through rural areas as they drift towards the northeast. Yet as these tornadoes begin to lift, the parent supercell begins to rapidly intensify, carving out a new powerful rotating updraft called a mesocyclone, and at 9 p.m., produces one of the most infamous tornadoes in American history. Beginning just to the south of County Line Road, the newly formed tornado.
So what I've been learning too as well, you know, because I'm also trying to, you know, educate myself while we're watching these and stuff, is that the supercell is just, I mean, you see how the sky forms this big ass fucking circle that looks insane. It doesn't look real. It looks like AI and stuff, and that's where the tornadoes be coming out of, right? Let me confirm that. Yeah, so most strong and violent tornadoes come out of supercell thunderstorms, which are special long casting storm clouds with deep spinning center. So yeah, that's exactly, it basically births, you know, supercells the mommy, and it births his little babies, these tornadoes, which are not little babies, but they boss babies for sure. They fucking tear up cities and fuck up lives all the time.
Beginning just to the south of County Line Road, the newly formed tornado rapidly expands as it moves towards the northeast, bringing down patches of trees and damaging an oil tank, scattering the highly flammable oil all over the nearby areas. It's at this moment that multiple storm chasers driving along Highway 183 begin to record the tornado for the first time as it passes through the rural areas northwest of the highway.
Fuck.
One of these chasers, Mike Scantlin, takes a photo, revealing the monster tornado
Oh
looming in
my
the distance.
gosh, dude. And this picture doesn't do it any justice. You could tell. I mean, you could tell, but just the fact that we could see the circumference of this tornado, that is fucking insane, dog. Like, it is so fat. It's
As
juicy.
the chasers continued to film, however, something remarkable begins to happen. Multiple smaller funnels begin to descend to the ground around the parent circulation in a hellish dance as they orbit around the monster tornado. These rare, smaller vortices are called satellites. Something only seen in the most violent.
Oh my gosh. This just looks like hell, bro. I ain't gonna lie, this picture alone looks like something from hell, bro. Like, look at this big ass tornado, and then you got these ones spawning like they're freaking devil spawns or something, like little demons following the freaking Satan.
Tornadoes on Earth. Continuing to track to the northeast, the rapidly widening tornado begins to encounter many rural structures, damaging or completely destroying anything unlucky enough to be caught in its path. Homes, barns, trees, and power lines alike all disintegrate in the face of the violent winds as the tornado swells to an unbelievable 1.7 miles wide. One of the largest tornadoes.
1.7 miles wide. That's insane. That doesn't seem big in hindsight, but I'm telling you guys, I mean, if you walk 1.7 miles, that's a long distance to walk. Like, you just fucking measure that. I mean, no measuring tape's gonna take you that long. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure they got special ones for that, but I'm talking about just a regular normal one. 1.7 miles. Jesus Christ.
In recorded history.
That's insanely huge. Oh my gosh. This is an animation, but dude, hold on. I gotta see that again. This looks like anime. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Look at that shit. Oh, hell no. Imagine you driving. You don't even hear the wind or nothing, but then the lightning strikes and you just see this big ass thing to your right, bro. Oh my gosh. I shit my pants.
Following just 5 miles south of the tornado, the line of storm chasers driving along Highway 183 cannot believe what they are seeing.
Oh, wow.
The chasers watch in horror as a massive wedge fills the horizon, illuminated by flashes of lightning.
Jesus.
A monster tornado, masked in darkness, is heading directly for the small town of Greensburg, Kansas.
Greensburg,
With it
Kansas.
now clear a large and violent tornado will pass dangerously close to town, the National Weather Service realizes the direness of the situation and at 9:41 p.m. issues an extremely rare tornado emergency. For a brief moment, it appears that the tornado may narrowly miss Greensburg to the east. However, it's at this moment that something tragic occurs.
Going straight towards it.
As the tornado moves slowly to the northeast, the parent supercell begins to cycle, cutting the tornado off from the storm's warm, moist inflow in a process called an occlusion, pushing the tornado into a more northerly course straight towards town.
Fucking nature, bro. Just fucking everything up, dog.
The residents of Greensburg have just minutes to prepare.
Jesus Christ.
At the same time the occlusion process begins to take over, the tornado begins to shrink in size, but dramatically increases in intensity, obliterating several rural homes and scouring the ground, leaving a visible scar in the surface as it crawls to the north. 1 mile to the northeast, Dennis McKinney, deeply concerned about his neighbors Kelsey Schroth and her baby Jaden, runs to the back porch of his home and begins to shout out for them to get into his basement. Kelsey tries to get out of her home, but with the winds of the approaching tornado only growing stronger, she is
can't even
unable
get
to
out.
open the door and get outside.
Oh my
forced to ride out the
gosh.
tornado in her home without a basement. Outside,
Bro, that's fucking scary, dog. Like, just the thought, like, you cannot get out of your house. It is so freaking scary to even think about stepping outside because the wind speeds are so strong, bro. You just gotta tough it out. Oh my gosh, bro. And getting in a basement or something would probably be like the best thing, you know, just being underground under the house.
Dennis waits until the last possible second.
Some basements are in the roof though, so it just depends.
Waits until the last possible second as debris begins to fill the air and the deafening roar of the tornado drowns out all other sound before running back back into his basement.
See, that's the thing that I'd be like, feel like it would be the scariest part is obviously the wind speeds and everything just being destructive and shit, but just the sound, the decibels, bro, the sound of a fucking EF5 or just a violent tornado in general, just being right over you, bro. I mean, that's gotta pop your ears, everything. I'm sure people's eardrums have absolutely exploded at the sound of these tornadoes and shit, bro. Like, that's so scary. It's just like just straight demon activity, dog. I mean, the video game that I played, I was hearing the wind sounds and that, and I'm like, I'm scared already. So I can just imagine real life.
The fate of Kelsey and the baby, outside of his control. Both homes, along with a dozen others, are completely destroyed, with many of the foundations completely swept clean of debris. By some miracle, however, both Kelsey and her baby are found alive and unharmed in the shattered remains of their home.
Thank God.
Continuing to deeply scour the ground, the tornado begins to enter the main part of Greensburg, flattening dozens of homes and a church as it closes in on the homes of Evelyn Kelly and Larry Hoskins.
Jeez,
Despite
bro.
having over 20 minutes of warning, both residents fail to take proper shelter in time and are killed as their homes disintegrate around them. Seemingly at peace with her life, Evelyn stated before the tornado struck, "If God wants to take me, he will."
Bro, that sucks, bro. It's like, I know a lot of people are like that. You know, they just, especially when you're older and stuff, and you just kind of feel like, well, if it's my time, it's my time. So I could definitely understand that. But it's just, you know, from the family standpoint, it's like, bro, it's just so devastating to lose any family member. Doesn't matter how old they are, how young they are, it's still the same scale of importance, you know, in terms of losing a life and how tough it is to get over that. You feel me? And some old people, they don't really like think about that too much. And in some terms, it could come off as selfish. But like I said, I definitely get it. You know, you get to a point in life where you're just like, well, it is what it is. And like, you know, you can't really do much, especially people that are more unfortunate and can't like really, they're not as mobile, you know, really, they can't really do anything. They're just kind of there. You know, I could get how that feels like, well, it is what it is. Something takes me, it takes me.
Destroying more and more power lines, the town is plunged into darkness as the tornado tears everything in its path to shreds. Panicked residents scramble underground or to whatever shelter they can find in the few seconds they have left. Homes, trees.
Yeah, I feel like if you were to commit to living in places where there's lots and lots of storms and stuff, you gotta have a shelter, bro. You gotta have some type of preparation, right? Like, I mean, that would be the least you could do is try to build an underground bunker or something like that for situations like this, because it's so common. You know what I'm saying? It's so common. Obviously, an EF5 is not gonna strike all the fucking time. You know, it's still considered rare and stuff, but just the possibility, man. Like, I feel like you just have to be prepared.
Buildings, churches, even an entire elementary school are completely obliterated as the tornado's core closes in on the center of town.
My God.
Just ahead along West Garfield Avenue, Beverly Voles, along with her father and husband, are sheltering in their home as the tornado strikes. Gathered together to celebrate Beverly's recent victory over her breast cancer, the three dive into the home's hallway as the structure begins to come apart around them when a piece of sheet metal flies through the hallway, striking both Beverly and her father. The two are fatally injured, sadly killing both of them on a day meant to celebrate such a happy moment in their lives.
Jesus Christ, bro. This is the dark part about these storms and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, nature is beautiful in essence and all that. And, you know, just looking at tornadoes from afar and all that can be fun and interesting. But this is the dark side, bro. Like, people can literally be celebrating, getting over cancer and celebrating whatever they're celebrating, and in the same night can just be wiped apart by this fucking devastating storm, bro. That's sad. RIP.
Becoming more and more loaded with debris, the tornado rips into another row of homes, obliterating dozens of structures and sweeping several of them completely off their foundations before crashing into the Greensburg High School. Numerous vehicles fly through the air, becoming unrecognizable balls of metal as the remorseless winds batter the school. Unable to withstand the violent power of the tornado, the entire school is ripped to pieces, leaving little remaining just weeks before graduation was supposed to take place. Just across the block along South Main Street, Megan Gardner, along with the rest of her family, are sheltering in their basement as the tornado begins to pass overhead. An eerie silence is suddenly broken as their ears begin to pop from the rapidly dropping pressure, while the unmistakable roar of the tornado becomes louder and louder.
Yeah.
With everyone...
It's just like all that happening at the same time, like the pressure dropping in the atmosphere, the sound, the roar of the fucking tornado, everything is just, oh my gosh, so scary.
Trapped in the basement, the entire house above them is violently ripped to pieces, leaving nothing behind but the debris-filled basement they were sheltering in, saving their lives. Their neighbors, however, would not be so fortunate. Directly south of the family's home, Harold Schmidt and his wife are sheltering in their basement when the tornado strikes. Despite doing everything right and taking proper shelter in their basement, a truck, picked up by the ferocious winds of the tornado, suddenly lands directly onto the couple's home. Being in the wrong place at the wrong time, Harold is crushed as the truck crashes through the home into the basement below.
Bro.
Fatally injured, Harold would use his final moments to try to comfort his wife before sadly passing away from his injuries.
This is another thing about tornadoes, bro. Like you said, you could do literally everything right. You could have the basement, you could have the bunker, you could have everything, bro. But that debris, that's it, bro. That's it. You got to get fortunate to survive these type of tornadoes by literally dodging the debris, dodging the debris of your house in general when it gets ripped apart inevitably. But dude, oh my gosh. Like they're literally in the basement probably thinking they're about to be safe. Their neighbors are alive and everything, and a fucking truck. A truck just smashes through the goddamn house, bro. How sad.
Swallowing all of Greensburg within its grip, the incredible violence of the tornado's core crashes into the heart of town, inflicting destruction so widespread it seems inconceivable. Hundreds of trees are completely debarked and denuded, as every single building from residential homes to large commercial structures is completely destroyed by the remorseless winds, granulating the remains into tiny fragments. Entire city blocks of homes and buildings disintegrate as their debris fills the air, turning anything above ground into a sandpapered husk of what it had once been. Just across West Iowa Avenue, the town's water tower, along with the Big Well Museum, the site of the largest hand-dug well in the world, are completely destroyed, scattering the fragments long distances downstream and leaving a disfigured skeleton of metal where the water tower had once stood.
Just everything just fucking gone from this tornado, bro. The entire town.
5 more people would tragically lose their lives in this area who weren't able to reach proper shelter in time. One of these residents, Cloud Hopkins, was caught running to his vehicle in an attempt to escape the tornado when he was picked up and thrown over 100 yards away.
Jesus Christ. That's probably the worst thing to do, man. I mean, if you can try to escape as soon as you get that notification or something, but even then, you just don't know. Maybe you got that notification too late, you know? You could have not checked your phone and been doing something, and then the alert went off 20-30 minutes ago, and you checked it 15 minutes after it got sent, you know? And it's like, it's already cooked by that point. The best thing you could do is just try to take shelter, bro. Like, that's the best thing you do, and that's sad because you're just, you know, giving it up to chance. Whereas, you know, what he was trying to do was just get the fuck away, you know? Because I mean, that's the natural instinct of anybody that knows a big storm is coming. Like, if they can get away, they're gonna get away. But it's just, you know, in this case, you know, unfortunate, it was just too late,
sadly killing him on impact. Cloud was 79 years old at the time and was described as a hard-working man who loved to hunt and fish, living in Greensburg all his life.
Wow, bro.
Crossing US Route 400, the tornado reaches the northern edge of Greensburg and continues to cause catastrophic damage to anything unlucky enough to be in its path. An entire farm equipment dealership, a hospital, hundreds of homes, and a church are completely destroyed and granulated into pieces, scattering their fragments hundreds of yards downstream as the tornado closes in on a group of mobile homes. Sheltering inside one of these mobile homes, David Lyon is sucked up into the tornado and tragically killed, his body landing over 100 yards away into a nearby lake before the tornado finally exits town. leaving behind a hellish landscape of destruction.
You don't even think about that shit. You know how the tornado just fucking suck you up, and all of a sudden you're hundreds of yards from your fucking house, bro, and just dead, just splatter on the ground, because most likely you're not gonna survive any impact. And then not only that, but you can get caught. The debris that's in the fucking tornado already can slice you up. Even if you somehow survive and get thrown out or whatever, like you most likely gonna land on something hard, and going at the speeds that it's going, it's just fatal regardless. It's fatal.
Landscape of destruction and claiming the lives of 12 people. The tornado finishes its occlusion process and finally dissipates in a field just to the northwest of town after being on the ground for over an hour.
Jesus Christ, over an hour? Oh my gosh. That feels like a long ass fucking time. Bro, I actually want to search that up. What's the longest a tornado has been on the ground? 1925 Tri-State tornado holds the record for the longest tornado has stayed on the ground, maintaining a continuous path for about 3.5 hours and covering 219 miles across Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana. What? 3.5 hours, bro? Oh my gosh, that's insane.
95% of Greensburg had been damaged or destroyed. The storm, however, was far from finished.
What you mean far from finished?
Immediately following the Greensburg tornado,
there's more?
The parent supercell, supercharged by the powerful low-level jet, continues to cycle, putting down another monster tornado at 10:03 p.m.
No way.
Just to the northeast of Greensburg. Traveling through the mostly rural terrain, this violent...
You think that shit, like all that fucking tornado they just had to suffer, and then another one pops out of it, bitch. Man, Supercell, put your evil ass babies away, bro. That ass.
Traveling through the mostly rural terrain, this violent tornado rapidly grows in both size and intensity, growing even larger than the tornado that struck Greensburg as it destroyed several rural farmsteads before reaching its maximum width of 2.25 miles.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. So this motherfucker was just like, all right, I got next. Like, he saw all the destruction and was like, nope, I could do better. Like, what? It's even bigger than the freaking Greensburg one?
Widely speculated as being even stronger than the tornado that preceded it. The monster Truesdale tornado would go down as the second widest tornado in recorded history at the time. Continuing to rage through the night, the parent supercell goes on to produce an additional 9 tornadoes over the next several hours, including 2 more violent, mile-wide wedges near the towns of Hopewell and Maxville, claiming the lives of 2 more people before finally dissipating over 8 hours after formation. Back in Greensburg,
this whole thing was fucking 8 hours. This has to be one of the worst supercells of all time, bro. What the actual fuck? Oh my gosh. Just all these tornadoes. Violent tornado after violent fucking tornado. And then a whole bunch of just spawn that, all right, you guys can come out. You know what I'm saying? Come out to play, kids.
After formation. Back in Greensburg, however, the scene was nothing short of apocalyptic. 95% of the town was damaged or destroyed, and 12 people lost their lives, leaving behind an unrecognizable landscape that was once their town. In the days following the tornado, surveyors and meteorologists from the National Weather Service would survey the damage and assign the tornado a rating of EF5, the first in history since the implementation of the enhanced Fujita scale earlier that year. In the years since the tornado, Greensburg has made substantial efforts in rebuilding itself, with many new, energy-efficient, and tornado-resistant structures going up across town.
Yeah, that's the only way. That's the only way after something like that happened. I mean, you gotta build specifically for tornadoes, dude. Every single building's gotta be tornado efficient. You know, everybody's gotta have a fucking basement, a goddamn escape to go away from this place. I mean, I would just be scared as fuck to even live here knowing that history, bro.
What was lost. However, despite the noble efforts of the town's residents to rebuild, the empty lots and debarked trees will continue to serve as a dark reminder of the tragic past of this small town in rural Kansas.
That's crazy. That was definitely one of the most devastating we watched so far, bro. Especially like just wiping out that entire town. Killed about 12 people. Just the way that those people had died and stuff too. Oh my gosh. The way that fucking truck went into that dude's home and just smashed him in front of his wife too. Oh my gosh. I could just imagine. Like, that's insane, bro. These tornadoes, they're fucking vicious and unforgiving, you know? Just happen and it happens. And the fact that this supercell had plenty of other tornadoes too, bro. It wasn't just this one. It literally, right after this one got, you know, put away, another one popped out. Like I said, it was like, all right, I got this. Like, literally going next and being even more vicious than this one. I'm pretty sure if it was more deaths and stuff, it would have said that. I think it said only about 2 deaths, but still, that's insane, bro. Yep, these tornadoes, they're crazy. They're crazy. Let me know what else you guys want to react to on the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Peace.